say you're not supposed to show your license plate on the internet, but I wanted to show you guys the actual. This was taken straight off of the other truck, and it was brand new. I mean, month and a half old, or 2 months old. So there. Looks good on the new truck. Which I do want to talk about that whole situation, what happened, but I don't know if I have the clearing yet, if I can actually talk about it and everything. But this is what I have now, and it is a 2004 GMC Canyon SLE 4x4 automatic. I did want a truck that was automatic. It's nice to have the Z that is actually stick shift, but need a little break on my hip every now and again, and this being, you know, the work truck and everything, that just that works a lot better for, you know, doing work and not having to, you know, do stick shift all day as well. One thing that this does need work, like, it's not perfect. So number one being the tailgate is probably about the most rusted. Can you see that down there? That is like definitely a rust line down there. The tailgate is not original to the actual truck. The title is clear and everything, but something happened along this side. But look at that. I need more room. It's a little dented right here. That's the bad side. Okay, so bad side, a little ugly down there. So it needs tail lights for sure. But yeah, I can deal with this. One main thing that I can say automatically is that the truck bed is a hair shorter than the extended cab S10 that, you know, I had earlier. But the cab is a little bit bigger, and I can fit technically one more person with a seatbelt in there. So I do like the back window that slides open and everything. I don't like the fact that the little windows in the back here, they do not actually open up or anything like that. But look at that. Even with the dents in the tailgate, I love the tires that are on there, even though they're semi-worn, but they're not all the way worn like I've seen a lot of these being sold. So, the inside is fairly clean. I went ahead and actually started cleaning it. As you can see, all the white stuff that's on here is actually from the paper towels, because I used cheap paper towels that were, you know, the good cheap ones. So yeah, it leaves all that dust on there, but it is wiped down and everything, and a lot cleaner. It's got about 200,000 miles, just a little bit over, but of course it's not sold because it has a, you know, Android Play or iPhone Play or anything like that, but it is nice that it has that. Traditionally, if I were to have it my way, I believe in the 4x4 that's in the floor, because it's way more reliable, but it is push button, so hopefully that works if I ever need it. I didn't test it. It's a dry day in the middle of Florida. I mean, it's middle of December still, but dry, you know, there's nothing going on where I would need 4x4, so I didn't test that, but I should test that. One thing that I do know is that the horn doesn't work, so I do want to work on the horn, and I'm going to get to the bottom of why that doesn't work. The air conditioning does work really well, which is something, the main thing people look for down here in Florida, because it's always freaking blazing hot. It works on number 4, not 3, 2, or 1, so I know exactly how to diagnose that one, and to the bottom of that, which I'm pretty sure I already know what that is without even looking at it. But it's got 2 cigarette lighters, which it's nice to have these C to C chargers, because my phone is C, and then these are the C types, and it charges with the key off or out of it or anything. So if I want to leave my phone in here and charge it, then take the keys with me, then that's totally cool. So not the greatest speakers, but it begs for subwoofers in the back. And speaking of the back, which this all needs cleaned up, but it's not too bad, because I mean, even the headliner, no sun sunroof or anything because by choice, I didn't want to have an extra seal up there that's gonna go bad. But like I said earlier, it does have that sliding back window, and it does have the little seats back there, which, yeah, that actually comes in handy in case I want to haul like 2 or 3 people in here besides myself. Power windows, power locks. Not everything works the greatest, but it does work, which is typical of a GMC of this year. I guess there were some issues. One thing that I did note was that it had a recall for the valve seals. The valve seals go bad or something like that, and it was a big recall for them, so not too shabby. But it does have other little small issues, but it runs and drives right now, and hopefully I can keep this one and not have whatever happened to the other one happen to this one, so cross your fingers for that one. But it's got auto lights, which is super lazy, but cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm used to, you know, figuring it out myself whenever, you know, I can't see the freaking road or, you know, right before. But it's got the auto lights. It's got the dimmer control, which does work. It also has the trunk bed lights that do work. Fog lights, I don't know if they work or not, but they are up there. So at least I can, you know, not put my own in there, and I can use the factory, just maybe upgrade it or fix it if it's not working. But I haven't figured out what this one is yet. I want to, and as soon as I start getting more comfortable with the truck, then maybe I will actually start driving this a little bit more. The new car, whatever you get, kind of has to build your confidence on that reliability, for me personally at least. And this is brand new. Long story short, I drove about an hour away to go test it out, and it drove fine and perfectly. I was on the way back about half an hour in, and all of a sudden the dash said limp mode. There was no gas pedal pretty much, and I could creep up like granny speed, creep up great grandma on a Sunday, kind of creeping up to 45 miles an hour. And it would take forever, but I was able to limp it home and everything. I didn't have my scanner in this car. I had it in the car that was following me, but I was able to actually limp it home and everything. I cleared the code, and it seems like it's doing just like it did before and driving fine. But it does have a code for the electronic pedal down there, and it is electronic. I don't know if you can you see that? There's a connector up there, and it's all electronic, so those go bad. And so I have one on order, and it drives fine, you just can't floor it, I guess, is where I messed up, because I floored it because I started getting more confident with it, and I wanted to see what it did even more. So that's when it went into limp mode, and it was just, yeah, no power, and it was a little bit chuggy or whatever in surgy at idle when I came to a stop or something like that. But it didn't want to cut off or anything, so I didn't have to 2-foot it and keep it alive or anything like that. It just literally just wanted to bumble and surge forward. But I do believe that problem is the accelerator pedal, which is why that is on the way, because the codes that came up were related to this. So now I get to start circling the block and trying to actually get more comfortable with the truck and making sure that I can take this from A to B and I won't get stuck in traffic somewhere and things like that. Because I mean, I have to rebuild that, and that makes me hella nervous. So that trash bag is literally all the different disinfectants and things like that we use to actually wipe this down. So that works out. Here we go. I mean, I was looking for something like a Colorado, something, you know, just a little bit bigger than the S10, even though I ended up with a smaller truck bed. I'm not looking for anything super long, because HOA does not like people parking a whole bunch, all kinds of awkwardly and everything down here. It's just, yeah. Just wanted to give you guys a update that I've been trying to, well, I can't really talk about the physical part of it, but yeah, it was even a long and grueling process to even get this far, to get back into a truck of my own. So back at it, and I took my rear drums off because I figured that they could use a good adjusting. And well, I mean, I can reuse a little bit of that liner there, clean it up. But as you can see, it's barely making contact. That's basically where it's making contact, and this is all just kind of sitting residual. And on the front shoe here, primary, yeah, making some contact, but not all. So that's clean. I'm gonna get that cleaned up. But I found that, and that's the adjuster. So I'm gonna see if this is actually, oh yeah, it moves. So that just needs cleaned up. I mean, obviously you can see that it's a miles being not in the right spot. It's supposed to be round. So that's there. This piece is here. Obviously that side's okay, but that side right there, obviously been running, or probably just down in this area down here in between the shoes. I don't know what this piece is though. It's just a master horseshoe clip, I think. I forget what the name of it is, but this is just one big piece of metal. It goes around that hook, and then it keeps the tension on it where it's supposed to. So I don't see any actual mounting clips or anything, so I'm guessing that has to do with the stir wheel adjuster, which is what that is. That's supposed to go in between those hooks and that one right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and adjust them out some, so then I can get a little bit more brake pedal out of it. That right there seems about the rustiest area. Rustiest area. It's just the muffler. It's not blown out yet or anything, but it's probably on its way out. Regardless though, there we go. And it's back together. All done, cleaned up, looking a lot better. Well, so to speak, with what I have here. So I was able to put that back together. I re-greased the star wheel adjuster. As you can see, the flat sides and everything, I have it adjusted out. I cleaned that. I put this boot back on here because it was mainly just off and barely on there. E-brake looks like it's on there. I haven't actually tested that, but I put a little bit of brake lubricant over here, as well as my little sauce that I make, so then that seal doesn't get stuck, because I know a lot of people like to beat drums off because they get stuck on that exact ridge that is showing right there. But hopefully with the fluid that I put on there, that it won't be a problem in the future. But this is all adjusted. It's going to go back together, put the tire back on, and then repeat for the other side. And this is a perfect example of why I take my little cheap pick here and go around the tires and pick out every single rock that I see. As tiny as it can be, it can cause a problem later. Now the problem I want to show you, and the advantage of actually taking a pick and always picking the rocks out, is you get to catch things like that. I don't know, can you see that? It's like a nail or something. I don't know. Let's pull it out. It's definitely made of metal. Okay, that went fine. I seen it. Keep driving on it, and that would definitely tear into it and obviously start a leak. But caught it early enough. What was that? That was this little piece of metal right here, and you could only see like a part of the hook, and then the rest of that looks kind of not dirty was all in the tire. So yeah, it'll just keep pushing down on that and just keep going into the tire if you keep going with it. So I'm glad that I caught that before that was a big issue. So let me throw that away and get to the other side. And this is the driver's side, which there's a lot less material sitting here, so I am going to end up probably having to get a pair of shoes to put on this. You can see the lining that's left to that there's like barely anything left on there, but it looks like it's been used. So that works. It does have this, which it doesn't have the actual star gear retainer clip thingy. This is what that is, this whole L bracket there. That's what's missing on the other side, which it keeps it in place so then it doesn't auto spin on its own. But for the moment, we'll be okay. I am going to go ahead and clean this up just for today, and then go ahead and adjust it a little bit. It was a little bit caught on the drum here. Clean that up a bit, but not a lot of debris, because it just looks like it hasn't been really properly serviced at all. So I'm gonna see if I can catch it up on service. And like I said, these have got to get replaced at some point soon, but for now they're not grinding, and yeah, got to make some money to spend money. So I'll clean that up and put it back together.